Hola, brothers and sisters of the Leaf. What's going on? Kevin Shahan's the first one on from Cigar Prop. Had Kevin on last week. He is a great guy. What's going on, Kev? Good to see you. We are coming to you live from Boda Pipes and Cigar Lounge. I'm using the other camera today, so I'm always used to looking here. Now I'm looking up here, then I got to look down here, so it's going to be a little bit crazy. I'm with my good friend Andrew. Thanks for joining us, my man. How you doing?
Absolutely. I'm doing good, man. Thanks.
Very good. Quincy, thanks for joining us. Look at this. We got Kevin. We got Quincy. We're already rocking and rolling. So we're coming to you live from Boda Pipes and Cigar Lounge. It's in Greenville, South Carolina. You just moved. How long ago did you move?
March of this year.
March of this year.
Yeah, less than a year.
That's right. It has been.
Yeah, and we've been killing it so far.
You guys have been. I'll tell you. I used to go to the old shop all the time. And, you know, when I heard you guys were moving and you moved to this location, it's just incredible. I mean, night and day.
I appreciate it.
Night and day. I love it. So, Robert Brown, what's going on, my man? What's going on? Good to see everybody hopping on. So, tonight, wanted to mix it up, wanted to stop down, and when I moved back over to this side of Greenville, I actually moved closer to your shop.
Really?
Yeah, I was living in Taylor's.
Okay.
So Greer was closer for me, and you know, when I was down in this area, I'd stop by your shop.
Yeah.
And because I always thought, you know, the selection you had was very solid.
Yeah, for a smaller shop, sure.
For a smaller shop, that small humidor was very solid. And we moved out here about a year and a half ago. And I'm like, 10 minutes down the street from the new Boda. Yeehaw, man. I'm happy.
That explains why we saw you more often.
Yeah, it does. What's going on, Dustin? Listen, I'm in that really weird phase here with my glasses where I can read, cannot read. What's up, Bones? Thanks for joining us. So I'm here with Andrew, and you are the manager?
I am the manager.
He is the manager of Boda. So how long have you been with Bodas?
As a customer or an employee?
Well, let's start with an employee, and then we'll reverse engineer it back to your customer days.
Coming up on 6 years now.
6 years?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Now, did you start off as a customer? I'm going to take it that's been longer, obviously, right?
Quite a bit. I started smoking cigars when I turned 18 in 2004. And, well, not this store, but in this store.
18 in 2004, Barry, right around the same time you turned 18, Bones. So I want everybody to know, because if you're in Greenville, South Carolina, the different shops, this is a great shop to stop by.
Thank you.
But there's a lot of history to it.
Oh, yeah.
So I'd like for you to kind of tell the history a little bit about the shop. And I know that it's not only a great cigar shop, but you are a well-respected facility and organization when it comes to pipes as well.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's where Boda got its start. I don't tell the history as well as the owner does, unfortunately. But Boda started operating 35 some odd years ago in a little bitty hole-in-the-wall shack out in Pickens.
Right.
And it was literally just a pipe shop back then. Pipes, pipe tobacco, nothing else.
You're being...
I'll be right back, guys.
So we're in Pickens. So we're going to get back when we get to Pickens. So what's going on? JB, what's going on? What's going on? What's up, Jimmy? Thanks for hopping on. So coming to you live from Boda's in Greenville, South Carolina. This is one of the shops that I go to on a regular basis. They have an outstanding humidor. They actually have a really nice mix of some boutiques. I'm smoking the Illusion Ultra tonight. But then they also have a very fine selection of some of the big boys. But I've been coming to Boda's for a few years. I've been down in South Carolina 7. And the old shop actually used to be, this is after Pickens, so the timeline may be a little screwy, but it used to be in a mall. Right at the main entrance, and as that mall kind of died off, and it started to build more of office areas, you know, they were really, you walk in, you grab your cigars, and you leave. You can smoke in there, believe it or not, but once you left their shop, you couldn't smoke from point A to point B. It was kind of funny. Felix Mesa, what's going on? Thanks for joining us, Felix. Good to see you, buddy. Felix Mesa, congratulations on the Vegas de L'Oreal ranking and Cigar Snob. Outstanding. Great job, man. That is such a phenomenal cigar. It really is. It's such a fantastic cigar. But more importantly, great guy. What a great human being Felix is. It's good seeing you, brother. I know you're working hard down there in Nicaragua. Daryl Iverson, what's going on, brother? Thanks for joining us, man. Daryl, you know what? I gave Q-Dog, I gave all you guys heads up. You should be right here, Daryl. Come on now. In the next couple of weeks, we're going to do a live show from Anderson. So if we can't bring Daryl to the mountain, we will bring the mountain to Daryl. And maybe we'll let Quincy have a few moments in the spotlight. We've seen him a couple months ago when we were down in Anderson, but we're maybe see if we can pump him full of a couple margaritas and tacos and see if that'll get him going. But it's good seeing you. Thanks for hopping on, brother. It's always appreciate the love and the support. So yeah, we are here at Boda. Some of the guys that are hopping on here, man, they are. They're local, so they're familiar with this place. There's a lot of great cigar shops in the Greenville area. Greenville's a great up-and-coming city. I mean, it's blowing up, and this is for me one of the better cigars in the Greenville area, if not one of the best cigar shops. I say cigar shop. So we're in Pickens.
Oh yes.
You have to excuse me. He's working too, so this guy is multitasking.
Yeah, I'm slinging drinks and trying to talk to you guys. But started in Pickens, run by a man named Don Boggs and his partner, David. Fortunately, can't remember his last name. But that's where the name came from, Boggs and David.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So they operated there for quite a long while, and then eventually they got bought out by the current owner, David Fishburne, a couple of other people. And they operated in a little tiny kiosk in what used to be the Greenville Mall. It was literally about as big as the table we're sitting at. Eventually they upgraded to a bigger kiosk. And when the cigar boom hit, they couldn't stay there. They had to get a brick-and-mortar location.
Yeah.
So about 10 years in, give or take, they really started to explode. They moved from that brick-and-mortar location to where we previously were. And they stayed there for 20-some-odd years.
Yeah, when you were gone, I was telling a little bit about how you were in the mall right in the entrance, and as the mall kind of died off and more businesses, offices, colleges.
Yeah, McAllister Square used to be the hopping mall in Greenville. And unfortunately, as the Haywood Mall came in, that really dwindled down.
Yeah.
And towards the end, we were the only retail establishment left.
Yeah, it's amazing. I remember when I first started going in there, I was like, okay, the mall. But then, all the colleges have their admissions offices in there. The
Make-A-Wish Foundation was
Make-A-Wish, yeah. We actually went there. The South Carolina Employment Office is in there now.
Yeah, the Greenville Literacy Association.
Yeah.
Plenty of cool people.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great, it's incredible, but you guys definitely were...
we had outgrown it.
You definitely definitely outgrew it. So, sorry about that.
Oh, you're good.
There we go.
This is the last place you'd expect to find a cigar shop.
Yeah, so Dustin App, my man, he has Jet F Cigars. He wants to know what you're smoking. What are you smoking tonight?
I am smoking a La Mission. I don't know if you can see that from L'Atelier.
That's a great cigar, right?
It is. This is one of my favorite L'Atelier Tatuaje cigars. I think they're calling themselves Havana Cellars now, actually.
Really?
But brands haven't changed. So
that was when I first started traveling. That was one of the first cigars that I kind of and all the different L'Ateliers really love it.
Oh yeah,
great flavor. I used to love smoking those in the morning with a great cup of coffee before I headed out.
Oh yeah.
It didn't kill you. It wasn't too strong. It didn't leave a nasty taste in your mouth. And it was a very clean but flavorful cigar.
That's always been my thing with L'Atelier. They make very balanced cigars, which is really nice.
Now, the one thing that when I was, this is a couple of years ago, certain stores, I guess, received the L'Atelier. It was Lancero. but it was the Red Ring.
Yeah, the Extension de la Racine.
Yeah, I wasn't a big fan of that one.
I only had one, and when I received it, it had gotten some age on it, so I can't honestly say what it was like when it was new. But it was an okay smoke.
Yeah, I was, and I tell you, I love that whole line. They're great cigars, but I remember getting out and smoking it. I think I'd got one for Duncan at the time because I was traveling, and I smoked. And I was like, man, I was really disappointed because I was really excited because it was, I think it was Virginia Tobacco, old Virginia Tobacco company up in Virginia, and I wasn't a fan. But all the other ones, man, they're solid. They're rock solid.
Yeah,
Jordan, thanks for joining, brother. And then, as I said before, I'm smoking the Illusion Ultra.
Yep, another great smoke.
I really like this.
Yeah, if you like something fuller bodied, not overwhelming, but fuller bodied, a little peppery, great stick.
It definitely is, and the wrapper has got a really nice, soft, silky feel.
Kind of velvety, yeah.
Velvety. There you go. Look at that. That's why he's a tobacconist and I am not. It has a really nice velvety. There's some of the one, like a lot of AJ stuff, really has that harsh, sandpapery,
a little bit, yeah,
to it, and it's not bad. But if you're going to smoke a couple cigars, it may get to you.
Yeah, it get a little old.
So, what prompted the move from the old location in the mall to this location?
A couple of things did. One was necessity, to be perfectly frank. At our old location, we had a really good thing going. We had a very inexpensive lease, but it was a month-to-month lease. And finally, somebody who could offer more money than we could said, we'd really like to have that space.
Yeah.
So we said, okay, not a problem. We'll look at moving on. And we had already been looking anyway, so it kind of ended up being a little serendipitous. And in that process, it became both want and necessity because we were seeing our outgrowth of that location.
Yeah.
One major factor was our bar. We could not have a bar in that location because it was technically a school campus.
Right.
So we wanted to have that. Our customers were begging us for it, so we had to make the move for that. And it was actually kind of a funny story behind that. When we were making the move, remodeling the building, all that kind of stuff, put a lot of work into it. Took us nearly a year to get the project finished.
Yeah.
And our actual business license, the thing that would allow us to operate in this building, arrived the day before we were going to have to evacuate the old building. It was incredibly close time.
Now, I remember the old place, and it was set up ideally with the bar area, but like you said, it was a school campus.
It was just a coffee bar.
It was a coffee bar, so you couldn't have beer, liquor, or anything. So I remember when you guys started the construction or the reconstruction or what have you here, and driving by.
Oh yeah.
And like, is it open yet? Is it open yet? Like, I just remember just on the edge of my seat, and as I seen it start to develop, it was just very exciting.
It was a really cool project. We basically had to take this building and strip it down. It was a shell by the time we were done with it. And we all put a lot of labor and love into it. But it was really fun watching the building transform. And you're right, people would drive into the parking lot every day we were working here and say, are you guys open? Well, the building's half destroyed. No, but it was still fun. Yes. One more time.
Hey, man, duty calls. I will not allow a man's glass to be empty because of the show. So, let's see here. Nolita, welcome. Thank you for joining us. Hola. So, this is, if you ever do make it to Greenville, what's really cool is it went from this location in a mall to now a freestanding building. And it just night and day. The humidor itself, and I don't want to steal Andrew's thunder here, but the humidor itself doubled in size from the old location. The old location had a lot of room, but the humidor there was a lot going on in that humidor, and a lot of great cigars, but it was really maxed out with what they had. Dustin needs a Manhattan. Dustin, you know what? With all that snow up there, you're going to be snowed, and you can just sit there and just drink Manhattans all night. You'll be good to go, brother. So here, the humidor is so much bigger, and when they first moved all their product in the humidor, I kind of chuckled because I was like, man, it looks a little barren, but it looked like that just because they gained that much more space. It was a pretty cool event. Hey James, thanks for hopping on. Seth, good to see you. He wants a rusty nail, so now we're taking drink orders. I'll see what I can do for you guys, I promise. So the humidor just really it looked exactly the way it was. You had a smaller humidor that was packed to the gills, put in a larger humidor, and then they started expanding more and more. So now when you come in, there are a number of great selections here. Quincy, this is where I picked up the wasabi. What's going on, Jared? Good to see you. Thanks for hopping on, brother. They got a great selection of Illusion, and this is also where I get the Las Calaveras. Did not make the Stogie Road Top 20, and the only reason why I can say it didn't make the Stogie Road Top 20 is because I think I just forgot about it, because that is a phenomenal cigar. The one with the green label, San Andreas wrapper, incredibly flavorful, awesome cigar. Should have made the top 20, most definitely, but I fumbled the ball on that one. I need to pour me some scotch and have a beer too. This is a full service location. Oh, yummy. So, what's also really great about this location is that the lounge area is very spread out. They have everything from tables like I'm sitting at. They have couches. They have a pipe club that meets here. Just a number of things. So let's see here. Well, hey James, you got to make it a point to come on back down or up. I don't know where you're located right now, but Greenville, there's a lot of great shops, and they're all conveniently spread out where you can really get a nice cigar shop. Like they do bar crawls and pub crawls, you can literally do a smoke crawl, if you will, because you have Boda pipes here. You can go to FH Cigar and Traveler's Rest, and that's a good 40 minutes away. You can go down to Cameroon and Greer, Tobacco Plus. There's a spot downtown. Really great locations that have nice proximity between the two. Quincy, maybe you and Dow can come up and we'll just do a tour of Greenville cigar shops. And what we'll do is we'll just buy a cigar at that shop, and then we'll smoke it on the way to the next shop. And I think if we buy the right size, we could probably smoke 7 cigars and hit seven shops and have enough time between each shop to smoke the cigar. I'm a fast smoker, though, so that might not work. Yes. Hey, Tony, thanks for joining us. Yes, a cigar tour, Quincy, most definitely. I think we should do that. That would be great. You're going to drive, though, Quincy, because I may have a couple adult beverages. So, very good. Next week's show, I'm probably not going to, I don't know what the heck that is. That was what I believe to be FaceTime. Very, very loud FaceTime, if you will. Anyway, so sorry about that, folks. You never know what's going to happen. A cigar poker run. Kevin Shahan, the next time you bring your butt up here, I think that would be a great idea if maybe we did have you come up here and facilitate a cigar poker run. See that? Quincy, you're up for that, aren't you? Hey, you are. You know that. Stogie Road bus is definitely needed, Jennifer. So next week, I'm going to be in Salt Lake City. Since there is a time difference, I don't know if I'll be able to do the show from out there, but I'm going to try. So more to come. I'm going to get out there on Tuesday and get a really good feel for not only the time differences, where the cigar shops are located, and also what my commitment is to being out there. So hopefully, if all things work out well, I'll be able to do a nice little live show from one of the local establishments. If not, I will post an apology and come back the following week very, very strong. We're going to have Dustin App on over the next couple of weeks. We're going to be scheduling some time with Dustin App from Jennifer Cigars. We're going to have on Anwar El Cedro as well. So we're really excited to have them on the show, as well as a couple other guests that we're looking to line up that we're just trying to get some dates scheduled. So 2-hour time difference, Barry. Is that for you or for me? I think it's more like a 3-hour for the East Coast. So maybe I can have the show on and take Central Time into consideration. That's great. Barry, I joke, Bones, I joke, but my company is based out of the Northbrook area, so I am very used to really revolving everything around a Central Time zone. So there's someone else here. I'm wondering if she's going to hop on or not. She's over there smoking a cigar, ignoring me. Sarah. Let's see. We have a very special guest who's going to sit in for Andrew. Have a seat, Sarah. Look who it is.
Hello.
Sarah, how do you pronounce your last name?
Capizano.
Capizano. See that I'm part Italian, too. I should know that. It should roll right off my tongue, but it doesn't.
It should be natural for you.
It's not. So what are you doing here in this lovely establishment? Now, you have a history in the Greenville area with cigar shops.
I do. I worked at Outman for a year and a half, and I ran Cameroon and Greer for 2 years.
That is correct.
I definitely frequent Boda. I've been coming several times a week for the last couple of years.
And even the old location.
Yep.
So what do you think of this location versus the old one?
Oh, I love it. There's couches, and he got padded chairs. So it's very comfortable, very relaxed. Everyone's very, very friendly. You walk in and you don't meet a stranger.
No.
Everyone's not going to turn around and stare at you.
No, it is a great place. I'll tell you, it's what's up, Chad? Thanks for joining. Cigar Bo, what's going on? I would love to be in the Phoenix area, my man. Kevin, you are right. We should have it in Central Time because Bob would be here. Actually, Bob's Cigar Guy did a FaceTime, or whatever that is with Facebook, Messenger FaceTime me. And it was at like 2:30. He's like, "Hey, man, aren't you here setting up?" I said, "I'm not on Bob the Cigar Guy Finley time. I'm on East Coast time, and I'm on my work schedule. I don't need to set up for a 7 o'clock show at 2:30, but he was here with the Drew Estate rep. Just give me a call to give me a hard time. So we love Bob for that. But he is on his own little time schedule.
Yeah.
So what are you doing now? Where are you?
I'm with Rolling Thunder Cigars. We have the 50 caliber. We've got a Connecticut, a Habano, a Maduro, and a double Lajero.
50 cal. Dave Cribben, the man, the myth, the legend.
The motorcycle man.
The motorcycle man. So there you go. Sarah's your 50 cal hookup. The 50 cal Habano did make my top 20 VSR list for 2018.
That's great.
And when I did my top 20, some people criticized it. It was too many cigars, but I figure it's not enough.
It's so hard to pick. There's so many good boutique brands out there now.
It is, and it was a nice. It was an all boutique, but what was really nice is that I have a very strong belief that if a cigar is the number one cigar of the year, a cigar needs to come in and really be outstanding and knock it off. You know, it's perch. I mean, obviously, if there's funding coming through with advertisement, that's a good way to topple it. But, you know, for my list, like, I had the Cafe 1901 San Andreas. Has been one of my top favorite cigars for a very long time. Love it. Awesome. Go-to cigar. And Felix Mesa released the Vegas de L'Oreal in October. He does. But this one, wow. I stole Bob's term. One. It really was like tied for number one because it was that good. I mean, it is a killer cigar. I mean, it's smooth and peppery all at the same time. I think it made like number 3 on the Cigar Snob.
I secretly suspect that I'm with Rolling Thunder because I sent Dave a glowing review on his Double Ligero because I had smoked them before when he was making them in the La Palencia factory. But then he switched to La Perla and Esteli, and he reblended his Double Ligero. And Ernie at Cameroon gave me one to try, and I absolutely fell in love and sent him a huge message. And he called me like a month later and asked if I wanted to work with him. I'm like, yes.
Very nice. Lucky, thanks for joining us. Good to see you. Chris Haskell, what's going on, brother? So they reblended the Double Ligero.
Mm-hmm. They've all been reblended.
Okay,
but that's my favorite: the Double Ligero and the Maduro.
That's interesting. I like. I his Connecticut's solid. His Habano is awesome.
Yep.
I loved his Maduro. The Double Ligero I really liked, but I was
that the Connecticut's not
expecting more
flavorless.
strength from it. Mm-hmm. So if it's been reblended, I'm going to be interested in
and
flavor.
And it's not super overpowering still, but
right.
It's very flavorful. It is definitely not lacking in any way, and it's always going to be like hands down one of my go-to cigars.
Well, that's good to know, man.
Yep.
He just called you man. That's good to go, man.
I wouldn't be selling them if I didn't like them.
That's the key. You know, you gotta believe in it. You gotta love it. You gotta like it.
I have to be able to put my name on it because I don't want to walk around and sell something that I'm constantly apologizing to people for. Oh, I'm sorry that didn't burn right. I'm sorry it didn't draw right. Exactly. I want to be behind a quality product, and that's what I get with Rolling Thunder. I don't have to be embarrassed to say that I'm involved with them, and it's great.
Plus, the one thing I've always go back to, whether it's David Cribben or Felix Mesa, who hopped on, Gabby Caffey. It's not only do they make great cigars, but they're good guys. They're really good people. And when you get a good cigar that's being produced by a genuinely good person, it makes it even that much easier to get behind. I mean, and believe in it. And that, I think, is the sales of things, is selling for the passion, the belief, and then working with someone and for someone that you know is a genuinely good person.
And he's
it's
very
ideal.
down to earth.
Oh, yeah.
And anytime I call him, if I need help with a shop or I have a question about how to sell something or word something, he has no problem giving me pointers. We'll have a 30-minute conversation easy, and I love that because I don't have to be scared to ask for help because I'm not always going to know everything.
Yeah, and when I first talked to him, it was, I had heard that that he could be a little intimidating, and then when I first started talking to him, I was like,
I never found him intimidating.
This guy's a great guy. I mean, he's very down to earth. He's easy to talk to, very knowledgeable. I've had him on the show. So I really enjoyed my conversations with him. Well, now we keep in regular touch with each other. We chat from time to time, and I love the fact that he has a brand that he stands behind, that he really cares about the quality of the product. But then, if you need to make a shift, you need to make a shift.
What I enjoy is that he does cigars for warriors.
Mm-hmm.
The military is a big deal for me. My grandfather was a Navy veteran, and my uncle is a Marine vet, and military is very important for me, supporting police, things like that, and he is very much involved in the community. He is always taking pictures with them and sending them cigars, and that's awesome to me.
That's huge. I mean, having someone who's selfless and generous like that always goes a long way. It really does. And there's so many people in this industry that do so much that folks really don't know about. and it's good to hear, and for folks who are watching to hear the stuff that Dave's doing.
Yeah.
I mean, I just remember reading and looking into all the stuff that the Fuentes do. Huge, amounts of money and generosity to the different organizations, it's supporting children. To me, that's doing the right thing.
Yep. And as we grow, he'll be able to give more. And I feel like he's the type of person who will. He's not just going to keep it to himself. If he grows, he's going to give back. And that's the person I want to work for.
Most definitely. I've had the opportunity to really grow some great friendships with some folks within the industry.
Yeah.
And the guys who I've dealt with and I've met and I've got to know really have blown me away with their generosity as well. And just their kindness and their selflessness. I've seen just some really great things come from like Felix Mesa, Gabby Caffey. You're talking about Dave Cribben. I got a chance to know Val from DAV Cigars, and he's another genuinely great dude, just a great guy. But they produce hell of a good cigar too.
Yeah.
I mean, fantastic. So, is he going to take over your seat?
You want to trade out? Because I'm totally fine being off camera.
She wants to be off camera.
I'm just going to drink my drink then and get some liquid courage.
Andrew had gotten us all the way up to what part with Boda?
Oh yeah, you totally sit back down.
The renovation of the building. That was Sarah. She is with 50 Cal, and it's an overall good egg.
Yeah, she's been a customer of ours here for a while.
Yeah, she's a good staple in the Greenville community. So, Eva, thanks for joining us. Renee, Christopher, what's going on? Thanks for joining the Stogie Roadshow. We are live from Boda Pipes and Cigar Lounge in Greenville, South Carolina. I'm here with my man Andrew. He's the manager, and we were just talking a little bit about the history of Boda. 35 years.
Yeah, plus.
35 plus years. Yeah. And now you've settled into this location.
Yeah.
The renovations, I remember driving by here and seeing it gutted.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it was an absolute blast getting the project done. More of a relief than you can imagine to be done with that phase of the project. I mean, all the management, everybody who had a serious stake in the game in the shop was here 6 or 7 days a week just beating away at this building.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was a lot of fun, but it was also a relief to be done with it.
Well, you guys did a great job. I was actually sharing when you were gone that the old location had a lot of room. You had a smaller humidor, and I remember coming in here the first week you were open, and to see and remember walking in that smaller, cramped humidor, but it was packed with a lot of great stuff, and to see it in the new humidor,
and it made it look bare.
I walked in, I'm like, it's keeping some perspective, but I'm like, holy crap! I mean,
now it looks empty.
I remember this is hardly any cigars. You guys got a lot of room to grow, and you guys have done a great job filling up.
We tried
that whole area, and I was telling you got a really nice balance too of brands in there.
We try to.
You really do. I personally love it because you guys are my dealer for my fix for the Las Calaveras.
Oh yeah, we love Crown Heads.
That's just such a great cigar, man.
Oh, yeah.
It's a fantastic cigar.
Yeah.
But what are some of the brands that you have now that you brought in since you've been at this location?
Well, the newest one would be Tatuaje cigars.
Mm-hmm.
At the old shop, we couldn't even consider bringing in much in the way of boutique brands just because we didn't have the space.
Right.
Our humidor was minuscule in comparison.
Right.
Since then, we've also brought in Aganorsa Leaf. We've brought in... who else did we bring in? We brought in a little bit more Roma Craft.
Yeah.
We brought in more Crown Heads. We brought in Illusion.
Yep.
McAuliffe cigars, Espinosa cigars, a few new brands. Not as much boutique as you would like, I'm guessing, but as much as we can manage.
There's cigars in here, brother.
Oh yeah, but still. Trying to get Foundation in here soon, and really looking forward to that one.
Yeah. I mean, I think you have I mean, I'm not 100% boutique, but that I do lean as I do favor boutique. But when I came in, you had mentioned the Espinosa line, and I think this is the first place I got the wasabi.
Yeah, that was a very unusual cigar, but
I mean,
I couldn't keep it on the shelf for the short period we could get it.
Dave Cribbin says you got to bring in Rolling Thunder. You got to bring in 50 cal.
I know. He's been on me for that for a while.
Dave, I'm sure he hasn't heard a single word from Sarah all night about that.
Yes, I have.
But really, and I went through his line that you have in here, and really solid, solid line. Obviously Crown Head. I mean, those are solid. And this was always my fix for the Candela Roma Craft, the Cro-Magnon.
Yeah, those are fantastic. You're probably one of the biggest fans of that I think I've had in the shop.
Really?
Plenty of people have liked it, but every time you talk about it, you just rave about it.
Most definitely. And you're the one who we got into conversation about Candelas.
Yeah.
And you had shared with me the.
Sorry.
You could.
2 buck OJs and another Scotch. It's already paid for.
Well, Andrew has to go make some drinks, so we're going to let him take care of that young man. Gotta have your drinks. Listen, man, I got mine here, but that's what happens when you have a live show and you're having conversations with the guys and the women who are working within the shop. As Duncan always would say to me, "Hey, I gotta go. Got a customer. Click." We had a great conversation about Candelas, and he had shared with me the Candela from LFD, and I'm like, never had it before, so I went on a quest, and I did find it. And when Andrew comes back, we're going to have a discussion and possibly a debate. He said it's one of the best Candelas he had. It was a damn good Candela, but I'm going to tell you, I still do favor of all the Candelas, believe it or not. I do like the Roma Craft. It's got great flavor, but I do always go back to the Fuente. And believe it or not, I'm not a big fan of the Camacho lines. I'm not. The newer Camachos. I like Gold Camacho, the Christian Arroyo Camacho. I love that line. But the one I do like a lot is their Candela. It is really fantastic. She was great. What's going on, Matt? Good seeing you, brother. Thanks for hopping on. That's really one of the only Camachos that I've had that I really have enjoyed with the newer blends and batches was the Candela. I'd picked one up at Wine Express for the first time and was completely blown away. And then Bob the Cigar Guy gifted me one a little while ago, and that is a Camacho I will go to. Dr. Gabby Cabby, thanks for joining. Hey, what's going on, Doc? Good to see you. I think you were trying to FaceTime me earlier. We'll let you go. We'll let you slide on that one. But we are live from Boda Pipes and Cigar Lounge in Greenville, South Carolina. Got a real nice crowd here on a Thursday, and enjoying the company, enjoying you. Wanted to introduce you to another great establishment here in the Greenville area. This place is about 10 or 15 minutes from my house, and it is always my go-to place in this area. What's funny is I always tell the story when I lived when I moved, where I lived before I moved, I was about 15 minutes from FH Cigar, the Traveler's Rest. I could see my boys, Sean and Adam, down there at the outdoor enclosure, or I could go down to downtown Greer and to Cameroon and Cigar and Tobacco Plus. But when I moved out here, those places are a little bit farther away. But I was blessed enough to be 10 minutes from this awesome establishment. So, Bob the Cigar Guy, you are right on time. As my microeconomics teacher used to say, Mr. Honey, you're just on time for not being late. So you're just on time for not being late, Bob. Very good. Glad you can join us. You do make up because you did call earlier today, wondering why I was not setting up at 2:30 in the afternoon. But you know, I don't have a lot of fancy dancy equipment to set up, man. It's pretty self-contained. One box, bing bang boom, camera, laptop, microphone, and the hat. That's really it. I don't even need to be here. I can just leave the hat. It'll probably be just as entertaining, if not more, than I am. We got Andrew back. So I was telling him, I said, when you come back, we're going to have a discussion about the Candelas. Kevin Shahan is also a Candela fan.
Okay.
But when we were talking about the Candelas, you had talked to me about the LFD.
The double Ajero.
Double Claro.
Double Claro.
Yeah, double Claro. And I couldn't find it. I finally found one down in Charleston.
I told you it'd be hard to find.
Very hard to find. Bob beat the paparazzi and the groupies. They're all around. Smart ass. Lucky Bob, I've had a scotch and I've had a beer. One more, and I may have to bleep myself. And I smoked it. It was phenomenal. Very good. And then when I was traveling in Virginia, the Old Virginia Tobacco, I mean, they are big LFD, so they had a ton of them.
Oh, I'm sure.
So I picked up some up there, and I got to tell you, very good, very flavorful, but I still think the Cro-Magnon is really, really good. And I still, for the price, and when you get the Fuente,
the little Fuente A58,
Claro, still
phenomenal smoke.
Off the chart.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not a fan of Camacho. I'm not. I mean, you know, hey, to each their own. As Bob says, your palate, your money, whatever. Yeah. But I've never been a fan. I have had their Candela, and it's pretty damn good.
That's one of the few I haven't had. So.
Very good.
Yeah, I can't comment on that one.
Very good.
A lot of people have been really astounded, including me, by the Swamp Thing from Blue Estate. You know, you would never think that smokiness, and as a matter of fact, Bob and I were talking about that. You would never think that big smoky and Candela would go together, but it pairs wonderfully.
You know, I'm not a fan of the Kentucky Fire Cure, okay? And I was talking to Bob. Bob, you're getting all sorts of plugs tonight because you're Bob. You're awesome. But he had given me a Swamp Thing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, I'll give it a try, but I don't know.
There's always a but, yeah.
And I smoked it, and I thought it really made that smoky flavor bearable, but also flavorful.
Yeah.
It didn't completely overwhelm me, so I'm like, okay, I can probably smoke a Swamp Thing from time to time. Maybe not all the time, but from time to time.
Yeah, it really mellows that blend out.
It really does, but Caitlin from Wine Express had given. She had brought in the Candela Camacho.
Nice.
And Bob had given me one, and I tried it. I'm like, you know, out of any of the Camachos, that's the one I will smoke.
Sure.
It's pretty solid. I mean, it's got a lot of flavor to it. It has that sweet, grassy flavor to it, but it also, I think it's wrapped around the binder and the filler that's in the Corojo, and it actually has some nice pepper to it. So it's a nice balance. It's a really nice balance. So
absolutely,
hats off. It's not a bad Candela.
Sorry, I had to say bye to a friend of mine.
Bob says, Thomas, Kevin is the guy with the awesome bleeder tool.
That's what I thought when you said that name earlier. How you doing, Kevin?
Yeah, he's really good. I mean, you go to his cigarprop.com.
Yeah, I've heard nothing but good things.
He was on the show last week, and it's really it was a really cool interview because, you know, Kevin's a great guy. He's just an average guy. Not you're above average, Kev, but what I mean is he said he's smoking, and he started making this stuff out of necessity.
Sure.
And then the next thing you know, people start asking for it, and the bleeder tool that he has it's pretty nifty and cool because, you know, you're always grabbing something, you know, whether it's a screwdriver or a freaking
I cannot tell you the number of times
pen.
I've seen somebody ruin their clothes using a ballpoint pen to do that because sometimes that ball unseats and then ink just goes everywhere.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny, but you feel bad for laughing. So I can really see the necessity behind a good bleeding tool.
Yeah. And what's really nice too is he's, you know, it's all he makes stuff, he designs it, and affordable too. It's not big price gouge either. So. So what events do you have coming up here at Boda for the locals and maybe even for anybody else who maybe want to make an extra little drive and come down here and check it out?
Welcome. The most current event I've got coming up is Perdomo Cigars on I think it's the 22nd of March. That'll be with Jeff Godfrey, our Perdomo Cigars rep, a really great guy. And he always makes sure we have some really good deals, and he puts on a fun event for us. And it'll be the first Perdomo event we've done in a while, so that should really be fun.
Kevin said that he will send you a free one to try.
Oh, that's incredible. Thanks, Kevin. I really appreciate that.
Is that him or me, Kev, where you're sending that to? Because I never got a gift. But anyway, he's far more important than I am, most definitely. That's cool. So
I'm the wage slave.
So you got the event coming up. You say in March?
March.
And now you have a fully stocked bar.
Absolutely.
Fully stocked bar.
That's where I've been going all night.
Yeah. I mean, when I first came here, you didn't have anything, did you? Then you got beer, now liquor. You're going to have a bar built.
Oh, yeah.
Correct?
Yeah, we're still working on that part, but we've got everything in stock. It's been a blast.
Bob, I don't have 10. I got 10 ballpoint pens that are going to explode on me next time I try and bleed my lighter. And so that should be, what, a couple months project, you think?
I don't think it'll take that long, but to be safe, sure.
Right.
Maybe 2 months.
After you get the estimate and everything, you'll be up and running. I can't wait to see what it looks like. And then the humidor. What's in store for the humidor? You had mentioned you're going to bring in possibly foundation.
Foundation, and since Dave is listening, yes, I plan on bringing in 50 cal as soon as I can. But the biggest thing is
Dave is persistent, isn't he?
He is. He's an excellent salesman. But the biggest thing is I've got to expand my shelf space in the humidor. We've already filled it up. So I've got to build new shelving. I've got to build new centerpieces for it, and then just keep rolling in the product.
It has filled up rather quickly.
It really has.
I mean, from when you guys first opened up and coming here, it was almost like overnight. I walked in and I was like...
Yeah, it kind of exploded.
Yeah, it did.
You do not want to know how much we spent in the beginning, because we didn't believe how much we spent in the beginning. We started looking at the cash flow in the shop and kind of panicked for a minute.
Bob wants to know if it's free Pappy Friday.
You and I both wish. I don't even know. We don't have a bottle of Pappies, unfortunately.
Cheesy plug. Gabby's giving a cheesy plug.
Oh, boy.
Cafe 1901 in San Geronimo. Gabby, I've already given you about a half a dozen cheesy plugs before you even hopped on the show, brother.
Oh, yeah.
And just to let you know, Felix Mesa did hop on before you, but I'm going to let you slide this time, Gabby, just because I love you.
He's keeping me in the know.
I'm keeping him in the know. We're just reviewing the beautiful 5-year anniversary pack, and I did receive the trays today too. So great deal with the bundles. Well, listen, man, I want to thank you for having me, for being here. Anything else you want to share?
Not really. Just anybody watching, feel free to come down and check us out. Yeah, we're always happy to share our new space with anybody and everybody who's willing to come see us. So.
Caitlin Finley hopped on. Wow, this is Gracie. This is a very. We have 2 Finleys on.
Yeah.
And I don't think this has ever happened before.
Your computer's not going to explode.
It's never happened before. Bob's consistently late, which is acceptable. You know, that's Bob. You know, we'll let Bob, the cigar guy. I mean, he's making videos. He's doing his cigar reviews. You know, he's cashing checks. You know, he's endorsing checks.
Oh, yeah,
so
he's making it big.
We'll let him slide on that. But to have Grace on is also an honor and a pleasure. So, listen. If your Stogie Road finds you in Greenville, South Carolina, make sure that Boda Pipes and Cigars Lounge is one of your stops. They got great service. I always go by the Stogie Road 3. When we were talking earlier, in my travels, I always look for 3 major components in a cigar shop when I would rate them. 1 is location.
Oh, yeah.
2 is selection. And 3 is staff. So the location gets you there. There's a lot of cigar shops on my travels that are very easy to get to. They're off the road. Some, it's a little bit off the beaten path.
Oh, yeah.
Selection. You know, do you have a balance of boutique to non-boutique. Do you have, what's the condition of the humidor? What's the condition of the cigars?
Extremely important.
You know, and even if you don't have a balance, you know, are there cigars in there? Good selection, so on and so forth.
Oh, yeah.
And the third is the staff. Are they friendly? Are they helpful?
See, for me, that's the most important thing.
And I always say this: the location gets you there, the selection gets you to buy, and the staff gets you to keep coming back.
There you go.
So I've walked into a lot of cigar shops that have been very convenient. I've purchased cigars because they had a decent selection, but I've only gone once because the staff, But I always do. We talked about this earlier. I always do give it a second or third shot, just like I do a cigar. Sometimes I don't like a cigar the first time, not something may be going on. I always give it a second shot or a third shot. And Bob, I'm going to put that one up. Bob's looking for some loving here.
Oh, boy.
Bob's trying to steal the show because Boda is Bob the Cigar Guy approved.
That happened today, by the way. Sure did.
Well, Bob, not to upstage you, but I will if I can.
We're getting into a fight now.
No, I would never fight Bob. He's Marine.
Yeah, that might not end well.
It would not end well. So we got the Stogie Road.
Awesome.
You are Stogie Road certified, not approved.
Very nice.
But if you did look up approved, it might give you a synonym of being certified.
Yeah, I think I could find it.
But so those are the three that I always look for, and I have walked into a lot of places that were convenient, great location, but just the staff,
Yeah.
it was
That can be a turnoff.
Not helpful, unfriendly, or you get the hey, let me know if you need anything, and then you also have the staff that follows you around like your shadow, to make sure you're not pocketing anything.
To be fair to those guys, it can be hard to strike that balance. It really can. But yeah, it's not fun to be followed.
No, and I respect that. I mean, I do. But there's been a couple shops that I walk into, they know who I am. I've been there before, and they still follow you in. And I've seen other folks that are smooth.
Oh yeah.
And know how to engage, back off, but still keep an eye on you. But I really don't hold that particular portion against the folks too much, because you're seeing, on the news, they'll pop in $5,000, a couple $1,000, a couple $100 of cigars stolen.
They can hit you hard fast.
And, that just kills your profit. So I don't mind that, but I look for those three. I can tell you, Boda's home runs across the board.
That makes me a lot happier than you know. It makes me extremely happy that you found all three here.
All three. Your location before wasn't bad. It was still still convenient. But this place here,
right on the road, can't miss.
Far above. Yeah. Far above. Unless there's a telephone pole that's being replaced.
Well, yeah, you think he's joking? We had a 25-foot long white truck in front of our sign for a week and a half, replacing a telephone pole. It was a nightmare.
I remember trying to get in the place, and I'm like, seriously?
It was a death trap for a while.
And I had many a horns blown, and I went into the outdoor, old Led Zeppelin album reference, into the outdoor. But I remember that pole, and I remember going, hey, how long are they going to be out there? Like, well, 3 feet down, it's solid rock.
It's nothing but bedrock.
Nothing but bedrock. So you can hear them out there, boom, 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 going at it. But you guys survived. And you know what? People will always find a way to go to their favorite cigar shop.
Oh, yeah.
So there you go. But I want to thank you very much for having me here. You guys are great. You're hospitable. You got a great, great location. Just to give everybody an idea, I'm going to show you around.
It's not bad for getting started.
A good group of guys there enjoying some cigars, some drinks. It's me again. It's Andrew again. We got that bar area.
In progress.
In progress. It is in progress. So, everybody, thanks for joining us. It was really good seeing everybody again. And I'll keep you in the loop on what's going to happen next Thursday. a week from today when I will be in Salt Lake City, Utah.
Nice.
From what I hear, the tobacco taxes are high, so I will definitely forge through and still smoke some cigars. So,
of course.
Everybody have a great evening, have a good Thursday, and have it go right into the great new weekend, all right? Take care.